Hello, Randi here, and I had someone who watches my videos contact me, and they said, hey, I have this animated diorama Looney Tunes piece here that doesn't work anymore. Can you fix it? I said, sure, I can fix it. So, if you have something, a piece like this, an old toy, an old robot, an old game, something like that, hey, sure, contact me. I can fix it as well. There's links below for my website. You can contact me through there. Or I have 2 Facebook pages. I'm always on there. You can easily contact me through there. So, here is Dodgers and the 24.5 century piece here. It doesn't work, but believe it or not, it's the same thing that all of these are wrong with them. The gears are split. So, hey, let's open this up. Let me show you what's inside of it. I'll get it fixed and we'll have some fun here. So here you can have a good look at this thing. Daffy Duck and Marvin the Martian is the characters in this thing. And they pop out and it talks and plays music and stuff. And it normally has some screws on the side here. The screws have been taken out. Someone's tried to fix this and didn't get it going. It looks like the screws are not around anymore. So don't have to take the screws out. I will be replacing them though. And this bezel comes off, but it has like some little tab pieces on there. And it's kind of hard. So you kind of have to pull it and get it off like that. And it'll pop out. And so that gets it open. This piece here is also supposed to be screwed in. The screws are missing on that, and that just comes right off. And so now you can see what's inside of it. Over here is a Daffy Duck. There's Marvin the Martian. Here's another one where they're both on it. There's a gun here, and then this piece actually moves to expose this piece as well. So the first thing I need to do is get this bezel away so I can work on it. So I only need to really take one of these screws off, which holds the wire, and the rest just plugs in. That's kind of nice. So I'll just take that away. And so now we're down free to look at this thing. This is actually built pretty nice. I would say this is done pretty well. I'm kind of impressed. The biggest flaw is the gearboxes. There's 3 gearboxes for the motors. 3 different motors, 3 different gearboxes. That's where the gears are split and they're just spinning on the shafts and not able to move these pieces. And you can see that these are metal and there's springs and stuff, so it takes a lot to actually move those. So I can see where they went after a while. So let me get you a little bit closer and I'll kind of go over what this thing does. So it has 3 gearboxes with 3 different motors that's supposed to move these things. Over here is just a potentiometer. This is for the volume of the whole thing. It also turns the power on and off. The switch that goes to here is what activates everything. It takes 4 C batteries, which are right behind here. You access those from the back. I have a circuit board up here, and there's a circuit board up here. The main one is the big one, but I'm going to start with this one because I'm going to explain what's going on here. In the very center of this thing, underneath this right here, I actually haven't taken it off, but I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure what is underneath there is a xenon bulb. It's like the bulb on a camera, the flash of a camera. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's very bright. It shines through there. It's when these guns fire. There's a gun here. There's a gun that comes down here. And pow, that's the flash. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is because this circuit is what's charging it. Down here you have this big capacitor. Looks like it's just hot glued down in here. And that is what's charging up, and that's what gets released to make the flash. So that's why I'm pretty sure that's a xenon bulb underneath here. To get to that, I'd have to take a lot apart, so I don't know if I'll actually show that, but it really doesn't matter because it does work and you are about to see it happen. Over here, behind this, you have this main circuit board here. It is full of transistors and resistors and a couple of chips, and it looks like this piece here has some chips on the back side of it. This might actually be something that was added later. This here seems like an afterthought that they put into it, and it's kind of bent down. That would be my guess. What that would be is where the music is playing from, but I don't really know. The many transistors down here, if I had to guess, what's going on here is these are what's sending the power to each side of the gearboxes, because the gearboxes spin one way and then they'll spin the other way, and so that's what the transistors are doing, is switching the electricity one direction to the other to make the motors reverse. Let me show you what is supposed to happen, and then I will turn it on and show you how it's not working, and I'll kind of simulate it working. So let me show you what I mean by that. I believe it starts off with this piece up like this. This piece is the piece showing, and so it works by this motor here, down here. So when it spins this way, it'll push that piece up, and when it does, it hits this limit switch here. So this limit switch needs to be down, and then when it spins the other direction, it goes this way, it's going to bring this piece down, and kind of hard to see, right here below it is another. So you have this limit switch here, and then there's another limit switch down here. So as it comes down, it hits that limit switch as well. That's what that motor does. You have Daffy Duck over here as Duck Dodgers. And what this motor over here, when it spins, it's going to push that out. When it goes the other direction, it's going to push this gun out. And there's a limit switch here, and there's a limit switch there. Over here you have Marvin the Martian. It runs by this gearbox here, so as it spins this direction, it brings it into place. It clicks this limit switch here, and then when it reverses, it goes down, it brings this gun down, and it's going to hit this limit switch right here. So what is happening with this thing is this circuit board up here is controlling it. So it's going to turn on one motor, and that motor is going to turn until it hits a limit switch, and then when that's going to signal the next motor to turn on, and that motor is going to turn on until it hits a limit switch over here, and then when it hits that limit switch, that makes it turn on the next one. And so it has to go through a sequence of these limit switches. Since the gears are split and the gears are just spinning on the shaft, nothing moves and nothing hits the limit switch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to hit the limit switch and kind of show you exactly what it would be doing, and then I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to make it do that for real. But first, let me show you what's going on. So I put two resistors in these contact terminals here for the button, and I'll just make a makeshift button instead of putting the bezel back on. Over here, this is the power, so you turn this on and put it all the way so the volume's all the way up. And so I'm pretty sure this thing starts off with this up, and so it would go up like this, and then this limit switch over here would be activated. I'm pretty sure that one has to be activated and the other ones have to be like they are. So I will now turn this thing on with the button. I'm going to try and Okay, so this one should come down now. So this turned down like that. This one, yes, it's trying to go. It should go to there. That one turned to there. And then this one's trying to turn. It should be turning up to here.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. So they try to work.
I have already claimed this bit of dirt for the earth.
This comes up to like that.
Oh dear. Now I suppose I shall have to use force.
Right. And so now this is turned on. So this would be coming down here. Right to here. And then this one's coming down. Can't get it.
Oh, what a play rough.
Yeah, and then this was down. And yeah, so it's having a hard time because it's not actually working. I got the flash to work before, but you have to time everything right and it's getting screwed up. You can see that the gears are just split and it's not able to move these things very well. So let's start right here on this gearbox. It's just 4 Phillips screws, and this pops off. It is just a little motor, with a little worm drive on it. That worm drive turns this gear, and it's supposed to be turning this gear, and look right there, the same problem that all of them have. That gear splits. Well, I have these gears. You can find them on eBay. These are the 10-tooth, so look up 10-tooth nylon gears and you'll find them. So here's the new gear that's going to go on. This gear will just slide right off of there. Already has these grooves on the shaft. That's a good thing. So if I slide that gear on, take a pair of pliers, force it onto the shaft. That looks good. And now it goes back like that. Motor set in. Should put this back on. Get that wire out of the way. Screw it back into place. Alright, there's one gearbox working again. Move on to the next one. Now we have 2 more gearboxes here. Let's start with this one. Okay, I need to move this out of the way to get to this gear. Once again, split gear. Slide it on. And to get it on, I'm just taking a pair of pliers. Don't put it against this gear. Put it against the bottom of the shaft. Catch just a little bit of the gear. And force it on. There you go. Replace that gear like so. Put the motor back in place and replace the top. Let's now work on this one. Pop that out. Once again, there it is, split gear. So pop that gear right off. Take another gear, put it on the shaft, and force it into place. Put it back like that. Replace the cover for the motor, and the screws go back on. And that should do it. This thing should work now. Alright, I have reset everything. It's all in place. So I'm going to turn it on. There's the power. I'm going to leave this rock covering off so that you can see all the action. I'm going to find some screws and fix that later. But now you need to see it in action. So I've got my switch here. I will makeshift switch. And turn it on.
Look, Bud, I have already claimed this bit of dirt for the Earth, and there just ain't room enough on this planet for the
Well, there it is. That's what it's supposed to do. It's all in good working order now. I just need to get this piece put back on with some screws, put it back together, and do a little bit more. I'll show you that here in a second. So to put this panel back in place, I'm going to use some number 4 1/2-inch screws, and I've got some washers here. These are actually rivet washers, but they will work. It looks like it'll hold to me. So now I can put this bezel back on, put the switch back in place. So that went like that. And then this piece snapped back into place. So next I need to get some screws that will fit on the sides here. And if you look at the back, we're missing a battery door, so I am going to recreate a battery door for this thing as well. So I modeled on my computer a new battery door, and then I printed it out on my 3D printer. You slide it this way and it pops out like this. This is the 3D printer filament, and this is not going to last. These little tabs right here are going to break off in no time, so I need to make one out of better plastic. So if you look close, there's a texture on this back panel here, and it's not something that matches my battery door. Its texture is the base of my 3D printer. That's not good enough. So I have an idea how to make this thing have a texture that matches this. Check this out. I'm going to use this section right here, take some clay and mash it in place. Take another one here. And now take some and build up the wall here and some here. So now I'm going to mix up some silicone, and now I'm just going to pour it into this little spot. So here we are, we're all cured. Time to peel this up, and there's my texture. So what I've done is sanded this battery door with 80 grit sandpaper just to rough up the top part here. I've masked off the section here where the little spot where you open the door with. Now I'm just going to take some petroleum jelly and put it all over this to act as a release agent so it doesn't stick here. Now I'm going to use Smooth Cast 300Q. This is a very, very fast setting plastic. I'm going to spread it out. It's really fast, but once you spread it out like this, it's going to slow it down some since it's exothermic and the heat is going to dissipate easier off of this. So I have a little bit more time to work with it. Now I'm going to take this and smash it down. Put some weight on here. Now that it's cured, now I can cut away here. Now I can just wash that away, and I'm ready to make a mold of this thing. And I have some strips of foam board, so these are going to go like that. Now I'm going to take some of this clay. Okay, now a little hot glue. Okay, now I'm going to place this in here and mash it into this clay. Alright, now I'm going to make a little bit of registration points here. Bombs away. Silicone is all cured. Time to take the back off here. So I have it all cleaned up. I put a release agent on it. And it's time to do the other side. Bombs away. Now to get the plastic down inside of these tabs, which can be tricky, I'm just going to cut a slot like that so that it can get down there and the air that's in there can be released. And then if it has some plastic in there, I'll just cut it off from the final piece. Alright, here we go. I'm using Smooth Cast Onyx Fast. First I'm going to pour quite a bit into here. Get it down into here. This thing's also missing the screws to go on the bezel here to hold it in place. I found M2.5s seem to be the right ones. And here's the final outcome of the battery door. Goes in, slide it sideways, and there it is. The Duck Dodgers in a 24th century animated diorama by Animated Animations. It's all done. I've cleaned it up. It all works. I've added new screws to the bezel, and I created the battery door as well. Here's something interesting that I found out. If you put batteries in it and they're not good, it talks to you and tells you that the batteries are low. Now if you have one of these things and you're having issues with it, and let's say the batteries do die in the middle of it, the next time you do it, it's going to be messed up. The trick is to just let it go all the way through its cycle, and the next time around it will work. So, are you ready to see this thing in action? Well, here it is.
In the name of Duck Dodgers in the 24th century. I claim this planet in the name of Mars. Isn't that lovely? Look, Bud, I have already claimed this bit of dirt for the Earth, and there just ain't room enough on this planet for the two of us. Oh dear, now I suppose I shall have to use force. What? Now I use my secret weapon! Oh, wanna play rough, eh?
Well, there it is, and I want to personally thank Jeff for sending this to me, because this is not mine. It is going back to Jeff. He wanted me to fix this, and I thank him very much for allowing me to fix it. And if you have something that you want me to fix as well, hey, give me a contact. I'll be more than happy to fix it for you. And if you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more stuff like this, please subscribe. And that's it, I guess. Thank you very much for watching.